What was your just overall impression on the first 6 days of practice?
I thought the guys worked really, really hard, and not just on the field, but in meetings, jog-throughs, workout, lifting. We ask them to just chop one job at a time and not worry about the length of it, because it's hard. I mean, they're involved. This is the only time of year where it's all football, so they're involved with football from the minute they wake up to the minute they go to sleep. And now they get a little break. Tomorrow's their day off, so they go 6 days now. Never during the year do you go physically as demanding in 6 consecutive days as we did right this week. We probably won't actually do that again all training camp. So it was a kind of a runway. I think our medical people did a great job of, with all the technology they have, helping us monitor and make sure nobody gets too far out of whack.
Quarterback play been not just Noah, but the backups as well?
Yeah, I think very competitive. They know what's at stake. Too early to really make any judgment on anything. I think, we're going to scrimmage a week from last Saturday. So we'll have 3 days when we come back off the day off, and then we'll scrimmage. So, you only get 2 scrimmages. That's all we ever did anyway, but now it's a rule. I like to think those are like our preseason games, so we like to see who can perform in a game situation.
Rick, what have you seen from Shameen Jones in the offseason, and what's kind of your expectations for the potential season with him?
My expectations are high for Shameen. I think Shameen had a small bit of the forgetting why he got so good, because when I arrived here, the opinions of Shameen were not super high. And I just watched him in our workouts, and I watched him until we got shut down, and he did everything, I thought, really well. So it was no surprise. Now, after having a productive season, sometimes guys forget. I think he got reminded, and then he went right back to what he did, and now I think he's taking it to another level. I think he's having a really good first 6 days. I know he had a really good first 6 days, playing bigger and stronger, which he needs to. We need him to have a big year. To be able to have him opposite Bo or with Bo is important.
Are you almost back to being a football coach now? I mean, a full-time football coach again, or is it you're still dealing with a lot of the stuff that you're
Yeah, I am. I'm halfway afraid to say it, right? Because the minute you say it, I'll go upstairs and we'll have a positive test, and then away we go. We're vaccinated, really, for the most part, totally. So I'm not going to say it's 100% because that wouldn't be true, but we got most of it, and I know all the stuff about what's going on. The one nice thing about staying on our campus, staying in the dorms, we really have a closed network here, so it'd be hard for something to get in. Now, when we have a break, 5 days from now, they're still going to be together, but we're going to see other people too, so that could be a risk. But I get people put a lot of stuff in front of me, and I know some programs are doing more, some are doing less. That makes me question, are we doing the right thing? But I trust our medical people, so I'm going on their recommendation.
I guess, is it fun for you though? I mean, it's a different.
It's a lot of fun.
That's kind of why you do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yep. And I think we have really good. We have really good people in our program, so it's fun to go to work every day with really good people and to coach really good people. I mean, as a coach, you always want a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but as far as people go, they're enjoyable to be around because we're spending, 16, 18 hours a day with each other.
Has anybody stood out, so far in the first week?
That's a hard question, right? I think a lot of guys have stood out. I think, again, I'll wait to that scrimmage. After that scrimmage, because the way it works is we install, in the first 6 days, we install 97% of our offense, defense, and kicking game. So what's left now is specialty stuff, a couple tweaks to different things, add-ons. So that's a high degree of learning. It used to be in the old days that, you do it once or twice a year. Now we install 6 times a year. So these kids are better and better every time we do it, and that's fun to be around. I think that would be the number one highlight for me, is that when I walk into a meeting and we talk about backed up coming out, they know the answers except the new guys, and they know how to talk about it in depth. So we're gaining football IQ each and every install.
Can you take much away from the offensive line so far, or is that something that really has to wait till Saturday?
No, I think you can take something away. Yeah, you're doing like one-on-one pass rush, you're doing team periods. It's thud, but it's still with pads, and you can tell if a guy's in good position and would have made the block or not. We're improved, but we have to be, right? That's what I've said all along. We have to be improved because we weren't good enough. How much we're improved, I think we're going to find out.
Greg, how intriguing is Isaiah Washington?
Excuse me, Fooch?
How intriguing is Isaiah Washington, what he could bring to your offense?
Well, he's a little bit bigger body, right? He's not a giant, but he's a 6'2" plus guy. And that fits nicely with what we have right now. We don't have big receivers. So not to not get into the tight end pool and still have a guy with some length, Isaiah brings that for us.
I think your first time around, I think you had 3 6-year seniors total throughout your entire tenure. Now you have 9, right? And I know the reasons why, but what's that like? What's that experience like? I know you talked in the past about having grown men. There's a big difference between grown men and not. I mean, what's it like having that many 6-year seniors?
I like it, yeah, and I'm leaning on them heavily, okay. Right? When you talk to people, just think back to when you yourself were 22, 23. Think about how different you were than when you were 17 or 18, right? So in college football, you really deal with a large disparity in maturity level between the young guys and the older guys. And when you have 6-year guys, they're oftentimes very mature, almost, not exactly, but almost coach-like in some ways. So I have leaned on our guys quite a bit and keep turning it on them. I don't want to have to handle this stuff. That's your job. They've done a good job stepping up.
And to piggyback to that, captains, where are you at in the process of making those captains?
It's a good question. I was going to do it before we started, and I always, for whatever reason, don't feel in a rush to do that. I want a lot of guys to lead, and when you have as many 6-year guys as you're pointing out, I really don't want to say, oh, you 4 are the captains, but I probably will, because I think for the most part it's pretty clear who the captains will be. I mean, I'll let them vote on it, but I think it's going to come out the way I think it is. Sometime before the season starts, probably, yeah. Well, Val Ambrosio is our kicker, and Adam is our punter. So there's really not a competition for the first job. It's behind them. Fava is doing a good job. I'm glad he's with us. We have some new guys. Let's see how they do. Fiegel's left the program, so we need to, we need to find a backup punter for sure. Thank you guys. Appreciate you coming out.